The world just wants to tear us all apart. Whether it's politics, Yanni, or a black and blue dress, life conspires to make enemies of friends. Video games are always a great escape from the rigours of the real world, but what about if you can bring your pals along for the ride with the best PS4 co-op games? Whether you just want to dick around in New York City or work in a bustling kitchen together, co-op games on the PlayStation 4 have what you need for some cathartic bit of bonding. Those who say these types of games are dying a death, with the focus being from many on PvP, are just cynical at best. Really, when you look at the gamut of different options we have now, we may actually be in the best spot ever for cooperative play. The games you will find in this list require your partner to have a controller of their own, but many narrative games, such as Telltale's Output, rest in peace, could probably fall under the same umbrella. Without further ado, it's adventure time! Come on, grab your friends and dive into the best PS4 co-op games. Ah, man, I miss that show so much. Number 10. Overcooked. Co-op games are meant to be great for bonding. Overcooked, meanwhile, is intended to ruin Christmas for everyone. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll probably end up hurling expletives at your aunt, just like if you worked in a real-life kitchen. Grab 3 friends and get to grips with the hustle and bustle of running a kitchen and all the stresses that come with it. Despite its cutesy looks, it is one of the most stressful games you are ever likely to play. Before too long, you will become as cynical and jaded as real chefs, threatening to smother other people with scallops and causing lasting mental health issues. Chefs, they're not right. If you can handle the game at its toughest points, Overcooked can be a real thrill despite having such a simple hook. 9. Ghost Recon Wildlands. The country of Bolivia is a playground for you and your squad in this open-world destruction simulator. Those expecting a Ghost Recon game will be disappointed in Wildlands, as it strays far from its predecessors, though the fun factor of griefing your friends and repeatedly running them over cannot be denied. There are missions and important burly dude things to do, but that's not what you're here for. Wildlands is an excuse to pull off ridiculous stunts and explore with your friends. The world may be somewhat empty, as is the Ubisoft way, but that just gives you more room in which to treat your loved ones with the utmost of disrespect. Don't play Breakpoint though, that game released, and that's all we're gonna say about that. 8. A Way Out. Sure, some of the writing may be rote, but you won't find a more surprisingly emotional game that slowly creeps up on you in terms of how much of yourself you invest into it. Over the course of 6 hours or so, you learn to love Leo and Vincent, 2 criminals looking to escape from prison together. Playable locally or online, A Way Out has players pick the character they want and then work with the other through some interesting gameplay mechanics. It's a cinematic adventure full of heart and quirks that most developers would not even attempt, but never mind any of that. It lets you play Connect 4. Worth the entry fee on that alone. Also, you can get away with controlling both controllers, so no worries if you have no friends. 7. Unravel 2. The original Unravel won its fair share of fans for its simply gorgeous photorealistic style and a heart that was hard to deny. For its surprise sequel, it brings back that same unforgettable style and also has a friend for Yanni to play with. Unravel 2 turns the original game into a co-op adventure that lowers the difficulty while ramping up the adorable factor twofold. It's still a puzzle platformer at heart, though its puzzles are relative walkovers, presumably to help it find an audience with younger audiences. A short but memorable affair, teamwork is key in Unravel 2. So whether that means using momentum of your yarn to propel your friend across a chasm, or just making cute gestures to each other, it's a game that thrives in co-op. 6. Monster Hunter World. Those who played and loved every other Monster Hunter thought they were in on something that nobody else was, especially in the West. Monster Hunter struggled to break through into the mainstream until World came along and smashed a ton of records for Capcom in the process. Featuring a lot of what made its predecessors so great alongside some refinements for a more casual audience, Monster Hunter World is the natural progression for the series. As with most of the games with an emphasis on grinding, it's better with friends. Grab some friends to share the guilt of massacring beautiful creatures, and you will almost definitely love one of the best games of 2018. 5. All the Lego. Literally, all of it. All of the Lego. Really, apart from a few small changes to fit the theme of the Daption, all of the Traveller's Tales LEGO games play the same way. As there's so many to choose from, it's ultimately down to which license you prefer the most when it comes down to picking the best co-op game to play. Famously easy to pick up and play, the LEGO games are ideal if you want to bond with your young children or introduce them to gaming as a whole. Goofy, forgiving, and totally charming, the LEGO games offer a ton of options as well as replayability that will keep the children from just replaying the same episode of Peppa Pig over and over again. If you're struggling to pick just one, any of the 7 games released in the last 2 years are definitely worthwhile. 4. Far Cry 5. Really, you could swap this entry out for Far Cry 4 if you're more inclined towards a slightly more colourful time. Far Cry 5 doesn't reinvent the wheel and instead opts for streamlining some of the franchise's most cumbersome moments, but that doesn't stop it from being one of the best PS4 co-op games all the same. Just like the Wildlands, exploration is recommended over making your way through the story. I played the co-op aspects of the game with a colleague and it quickly descended into baseball bat fights, erratic helicopters, and battling bears, obviously, so if that sounds like it's your kind of thing, book a ticket to Hope County and join the family. 3. Dying Light. We've said it many times, but we're going to say it one more time for the people at the back! Dying Light is one of the most underrated games of this generation. If you're writing it off as you're sick of zombie games, that is fair, but Techland managed to create something that even the most jaded of gamers would probably enjoy. It's even better with friends, allowing you to dropkick and decapitate your way across Harran to your heart's content. In the meantime, amble around and parkour your way through the office references. At night, prepare to run and scream like crazed banshees as the terrifying virals close in. You can team up with up to 3 friends to explore the delights that Dying Light has to offer, and with it now being very cheap and a sequel on the way, there couldn't be a better time to jump in. 2. Don't Starve Together. A survival game from a developer that just seems to churn out the hits. Don't Starve landed to massive fanfare thanks to its challenging but rewarding gameplay. When you're transported to a hostile island, you must scrape by and simply try to survive. With the release of Don't Starve Together, the misery and suffering was split twofold. Featuring a gorgeous art style and a constant uphill struggle worth powering through for the sense of accomplishment, Don't Starve Together can be enjoyed with random players, or even on your own, but as with every survival game ever made, Cly's indie darling thrives when you have a friend to lament the world with, especially with the rarity that is the local co-op on PS4. Still, you are likely to die alone in the dark. It's not as cute as it looks! Number 1. Minecraft. Yeah, Minecraft! Yes! Perhaps the most accessible co-op game there is, Minecraft is a game that's much better with friends as you explore your polygonal world and religiously eat mutton after the 28th creeper in a row creeps up on you. Don't be mad at them though, that's just what they do. There are very few limitations with Minecraft and what you can accomplish, so much so that it's a role player's dream. Whether you want to recreate Helm's Deep, make a great big phallus that reaches to the sky, or just have a Swedish dog who starts a homosexual relationship with another Swedish dog, Minecraft is more or less the perfect game for all ages. It also finally has crossplay, so you can make penis monuments with your friends, no matter the platform of choice. Aww. And that's it. That's the end of the list. That's the 10 games that we thought were the best for co-op choices on the PlayStation 4. So, as ever, did you agree with the list? Did you disagree? Is there anything that you wouldn't have put in there? Something that you might have put in there? Let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know down in the comments. And if you've enjoyed the video and feel so inclined, please do consider subscribing to the channel, giving us a like, and sharing us about just a little bit. It's very, very nice to get your commendations. So, until the next video, we'll see you shortly in the Vulture's Nest. Until then, caw.